Good morning. Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook. We're going to do an easy dump cake today. I mean, it's just dump and go. 2 ingredients. Get here. Got a generic, it's actually Wally World yellow cake mix. You can buy Duncan Hines, all of them. I wish I had a spice cake mix, but I don't. But the yellow's fine. I've got 1 can, the small can, 16 ounces. Actually, it's 15 ounces of pumpkin, pure 100% pumpkin. This is not pumpkin pie filling. This is just pumpkin, even though there's a picture of a pumpkin pie out here. So we're going to do, like I said, this is really hard, boys and girls. No, not at all. It's early. If it was too hard, I wouldn't be doing it, not this time of day. All right. Get this camera turned around so you can see what's going on. There you go. So I'm going to take my cake mix. And you can use yellow, white, spice cake. Doesn't matter. This trash over here. Keep my area clean because I don't have a lot of area to cook in. Now I am going to add another ingredient this morning, but it's just optional. You don't have to. This is pumpkin pie spice. I want this to be really pumpkin tasting, like a pumpkin cake. But like I say, depending on your preference, some people don't like a lot of pumpkins. Some people want a lot of it. So, yeah. Get this fixed here so it'll come out. The shaker's not going to do the old good any good. We're going to probably put a good tablespoon. That smells good. And maybe 1 little extra, just because. I've got some cinnamon here. Just because, not a lot. I don't want it to be a cinnamon cake. And I have my pumpkin. Get all of it out of there. That smells wonderful. I'm going to do a same type of cake. I've got to get to the grocery store and pick up some supplies. But I'm going to do the same type with sweet potato. I love sweet potato pie. I actually like it better than I do pumpkin. So what you want to do is just mix this in. Yeah, I've got a stand mixer about 1 foot away. Yeah, I don't want to get the bowl out and get it dirty. And I need to exercise for my hands and my arms and my wrist. But you just keep on doing this. And I don't want to bore you with me stirring a bowl of mix, so I'll bring you right back. All right, back with you. As you can see, I've got this stirred up. It took me a minute or so. This is a super thick batter. It takes Armstrong to do this. And for y'all young people, there was a joke about Armstrong years ago. Armstrong was a rubber tire company. But anyway, and of course it means Armstrong. The joke was about it. But anyway, I've got my oven preheated, or on preheat right now, for 350 degrees. This over here. Oh, it smells really good. I've got a 9 by 13 baking dish. Let me see this. And I've got another cup of coffee here. Second cup of the morning. Gotta love Perk coffee. If you don't Perk coffee, try it this one time. It's really good. All right. So I'm just going to take and transfer this mixture easy for me to say. Make sure it's all mixed up good. Nothing, none of the cake mix left out. All the pumpkin mixed in with it. I mean, if you see a few little white flecks, that's no problem. But I've been doing duck cakes for a long time. I have lots of videos of different types of duck cake. Applesauce, peach. The peach duck cake, oh, it's really good. Kind of like a peach cobbler and cake cross. Like they got together and had a kid. Alright. My Mr. Big Man's coming in here. It's like, Daddy, he loves pumpkin. He likes pumpkin cookies, anything pumpkin. He loves pumpkin pie. So, all right. Sorry about I'm slow this morning. I'm trying to get every bit of this. My little arms and wrists are so weak. Tomorrow, this is Tuesday morning, Taco Tuesday, and I'm making pumpkin cake. Tomorrow will be 1 year when I ended up in the hospital. My heart went haywire, had an electrical short in it, and I ended up in the rehab and hospital for 5 or 6 weeks. I can't even remember. I don't have a lot of memory of that time. I just remember waking up and asking the surgeon was talking to me, saying that, or I was asking him, did I have a stroke? Was I paralyzed? Because I realized right off the bat I couldn't move my legs. Couldn't lift my leg up. I could kind of move them, but he said, no. I said, well, what's wrong with my legs? He said, well, you had this heart event, and that, I said, well, was it a heart attack? He said, no. He said, in layman's term, you have two sides of your heart, and one pumps and one pushes, and the bottom line was, they got pissed off at each other and stopped talking. And I forget the exact name he called it. I said, well, you know what, I'm an old country dude, and I appreciate that, because that tells me, you know, at least I can understand what the heck you're talking about. He said, you're going to be here in the hospital rehab. They put me in the hospital rehab just to get me ready to go to regular physical therapy rehab, which I was there 4 or 5 weeks. It's funny, I just asked my wife the other morning, I said, you know, I don't remember anything. Pulling up to the hospital, all right, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. I was driving when I had it. I just felt a tinge in my heart. I mean, and then it was kind of in my face. I mean, nothing bad. Just kind of a little electrical feel. So I drove. We were headed to work. It was 5:30 in the morning. We both worked for a plastic surgeon in Plano, Texas, Dr. Peter Rafael. I made sure they were safe. They had a job opening one time for a 300-pound gorilla. Hey, I fit that perfect. My background was perfect for that. So I got the job because they were broken into one morning, and my wife was there. She was the only one there, and they broke in, and they didn't harm her. But they stole TVs off the wall, laptops, anything they could grab. In about 5 minutes, they were out of there. So I went to work for him. My wife had worked for him for basically 30 years. So she called everybody on the way to the hospital. We got to the hospital. She went in and told them what was going on. They came in. I just pulled up into the emergency room parking. Plano Heart Hospital. Man, that's a place that's better Scott and White. The attendant come out. I guess a nurse. I guess he was a nurse. Brought a wheelchair and said, "Are you able to get out of the car?" And I said, "Yeah, I feel fine. I just had this funny feeling." And my cardiologist said, if Dr. Wilbert out of Plano, I know these people religiously now. Said if I ever had funny feeling in my chest, if I needed to burp and I couldn't burp, or I had gas pain or anything, and it just didn't feel normal, go to the heart hospital if I was in the area. If not, go to another hospital. Just get it checked. Listen to your gut. So I did. I said, no, I'm fine. I can get out. So I got out, and I had not been walking very well. My legs were swollen. I mean, I knew something was going on, but to be honest, 2 years ago, I started getting ready for the big trip. Sold everything, basically all my fishing poles and stuff like that. Sold guns, gave my grandson guns. I mean, I was getting prepared, made sure everything was in line. I knew I was about going to be 70 years old. My dad passed away early. My mother passed away early. My little brother passed away early. So I thought, well, I'm going to go meet them in the big sky. So I took I stood up, got in a wheelchair. And my wife said, can I park over there? And I said, yeah, it says park in the emergency room. And the guy said, yeah. And I don't know anything for 2 weeks after that. I had some weird dreams that I kind of remember. And I just asked my wife the other day, I said, what was I doing during that 2 weeks? Was I talking? Was I out? Was I in a coma? And she said, no, you were talking. So I don't know. I can't remember anything. I just remember I was out in my mind. I mean, I don't remember anything, so I really don't know. Just a couple of strange dreams. I'll share one with you, and I'll go put this. I'm waiting on the oven to preheat. One of my dreams was I was on a door, and maybe if somebody reads dreams, they'll know what this means. I was on a door in the water, and I had a piece of wood, and I was paddling around on that door, and there was like a marina, and I was paddling up through there to the marina. As I would get close, the water would pull me back, and I would paddle up, and I would almost grab it, and the water would pull me back. Excuse me. Sorry about this. Anyway, it's a lot for the old dude to take in. So that's all I remember. Oh, and they kept pushing me back. I mean, they kept pushing me back. I don't know what that dream meant. I don't know if I was knocking on death's door and they were saying, you ain't ready. We don't want you. Go back and do some good. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about this. It's an emotional time of the year. And yes, old dudes do have emotions. So anyway, I couldn't walk. I couldn't use my legs. They lifted me out of a bed and put me in a wheelchair, on a gurney, to move me to the rehab. And when I went into the hospital, I weighed 480 pounds. I went to my cardiologist last Friday. I weighed 315, so I've lost about 170 pounds in a year. No diet, just eating well, not overeating. I don't do a lot of exercise. I got into rehab, and of course I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't even get on the wall. I couldn't even sit up on the side of the bed. And my physical therapist would come in and say, okay, let's sit up on the side of the bed, man. And I would kind of sit up, and I didn't have the strength to do it. I said, I just can't do it. And they said, oh, you can do it, you can do it. So I tried to stand up, and every time I tried to stand up, I mean, I don't think I was standing up. I don't even think I was standing up, but I was making an effort. And they would say, oh, yeah, you stood up about an inch. I think they were lying to me, being cheerleaders. But I kept on doing that, and they'd wheel me down, and we'd do exercise. They'd, put me in my wheelchair and do exercises. And one morning I came in, and they said, this guy's here. He's going to measure you for a wheelchair. Medicare, I'm an old dude. I'm 70. Medicare is going to buy you a wheelchair, so he needs to measure it. It's a power assist, and they're paying for it. It's like $3,000 or something like that. I said, okay. I mean, I was resolved I was going to be in a wheelchair. So I took and talked to him. He got all my measurements and talked about the house. And I realized I was going to have a ramp put in the front door to get in and out of the house with. And two of the doors in my house that are going to have to be widened for, this house is built in 1956 or 57. Wasn't built for wheelchairs. So started talking to my wife and some people I knew in the construction business and getting some, just getting to get my house ready for a wheelchair. I am a veteran, so I even talked to a couple of veterans organizations that would help a little bit. But it's going to end up costing me about $10,000 to $20,000 to put the ramps in and get the house redone. And that was not the motivation to make me walk, but it was part of it. So I went down one morning and I did my exercises, and they said, you want to step up? They had stairs that were 8 flights that go up to the top. They needed a bell at the top of them. We had people in rehab that were down for knee surgeries, all kinds of stuff, paraplegics. I mean, you name it, it was there. And they said, you want to take a step up here? Because, I got to get in my house, and if I don't have a ramp, it's 2 steps up on front porch. Luckily, we have, railings. And so I told him, I said, yeah, I'll try. And I just couldn't. I couldn't get my leg lifted up. And I did finally get it up there. I said, can you help me lift my leg up? So they helped me put my leg up there. But I just didn't have the strength to stand up to take that initial step. And I'm a heart failure patient. I'm in heart failure right now. I realize I've been in for 2 years, 3 years, I think. So in the afternoons, I don't have a lot of energy. My gas tank is running low. So I told him, I said, in the morning before I do any exercises, before I eat breakfast, to get a shower or anything, can you come get me? Let me try these steps in the morning while I'm fresh. He said, sure. So that morning at 7 o'clock, they were in there, and I just had a snack. I had some cranberry juice, and they wheeled me down there, and there was 2 of them, this young lady, and a physical therapist, and the guy, Mulkey. And I told Mulkey, I said, can we video this? And he said, yeah. I said, I feel like I can get up 1 step. And he said, yeah. So I gave my phone to this young lady. She was just probably, I think, in her 20s or maybe 30. And I took and I said, it's on video. Just video me going up the taking my step. So I used to ride bulls, and only thing I can tell you is I used to have to reach down really low and grab grab myself to get on top of a bull, a 2,000 to 3,000 pound bull. I mean, it's all I could do to get on them, and I wanted to stay on them because I didn't want to be bucked off, and I didn't want to get trampled. So I was trying to make the 8 seconds, and I was pretty decent, even though I was tall. So I got down there. They wheeled me down in a wheelchair and they put me in front. Gave her the camera. She started videotaping, and I went up the first step. And they were saying, can you take another step? I was reaching down, grabbing low gear, saying, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I was my own cheerleader. So I took another step and took another step and went all the way up 8 steps that morning. I wish they'd have had a bell, because I was sure as hell been ringing it, ring-a-ding-ding. Turned around, and I have a video I have this all on video, but I don't know how to transfer video to YouTube. So maybe somebody can tell me how to do that. I've got it on my Facebook group. So anyway, I went back down, and man, I felt like a new man. I felt like I could whip the world. So at that point, I started trying to get up on a walker, and I finally would get up and walk about 6 foot on a walker, and then I went 10 foot, and then I went down the hall about 20 foot and came back. I mean, it was eye-opening, and it made the old dude feel good. It made me feel young again. So came home on a walker. Social Security and Medicare bought me a hospital bed, which I sleep in today because I had to sleep kind of raised up because of my heart. And I got so I could actually go from my walker to the back bedroom and to the bathroom. I was like, oh, this is great. I mean, I was worn out, and I remember the first time I took a shower. I got in there and I took the walker and put it in the shower with me. I would walk in the shower. And these are great moments, and I know I'm probably boring you with all of this stuff, but here's the journey that I went through. And then one day I had grabbed my cane that I had built my dad, and I had brought it home, and after he passed away, and it was in a big old crock pickle jar, and I took it out and I stood up and took one step with it, and then it backed up and sat back on bed. And then I took 2 steps with it, and my wife wasn't even in the room. So one day she was sitting there, and I just grabbed the cane and I stood up, walked over to the TV. I had the cane in my hand, but I wasn't using it. And I turned around and went back. I said, "Did you see that?" And she said, "Yeah, you walked to the TV. You know, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees." I said, "Yeah, but did you see? I wasn't using the cane." She said, "Oh my God." And I said, "Yeah, oh my God." So I now walk in the grocery store. I'm slow walking. I'm 70 years old anyway. I'll be 71 here in a few months. And that's okay. I'm in no hurry to get where I was almost there. So I'm in no hurry to get anywhere else except cook, enjoy meeting friends. I do call my YouTube people that are on my group friends. I mean, I appreciate it. I enjoy chatting with you back and forth. So anyway, now that you've heard the long story about tomorrow's my anniversary of the hospital day, I'm going to put this cake. I can see the lights out on the top of the oven, the stove, so I know it's preheated, 350 degrees, and I'm going to check it at about 12 minutes, putting a toothpick in it and see if it comes out clean and all that, and I'll bring you back. Well, boys and girls, this pumpkin hat cake is out of the oven. It's not the smoothest. Maybe I'm not sure how I would have smoothed it out. Maybe put some water on my spatula. But you know what? When you eat into it and bite into it, you don't care if it's got bumps and crinkles, these all over the top. That's more places for butter to hide or frosting. Yeah, some butter drizzle over the top would be really good. Let me bring it back and I'll cut it for you. All right, back with you. That cake took about 24 minutes. At I put my oven cooks kind of hot. So I put it at about 340 degrees. Halfway through it, I checked it at the 10-minute mark. Of course, it was still wet on the center. I rotated the pan around in my oven to make sure it was cooking even. I checked it at 20 minutes. It was getting better. It had just a little crumb left, which a lot of people like that. So I just turned it on for 5 more minutes and checked it again, and it was ready. So I'm going to take and slice this up in squares while it's warm. My trusted dusty old handmade knife. I love using old knives. You know, I've had these things for years. I've had a lot of stuff through the years that I don't have anymore, but I kept up with my knives. I mean, I made this when I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was a Boy Scout. Matter of fact, I did a video the other day cooking with my Boy Scout mess kit that I had in the 1960s, and this is what I was cooking with, because this is what I carried. So anyway, let me slice this. I could tell it was getting ready just by looking at it because it was pulling away from the sides. My wife will be surprised. She's a pumpkin addict. She's a diabetic, so she has to really watch what she eats. But I think she will enjoy this with her coffee this morning. She can come in and get a little bite or a big bite or whatever she wants out of here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think right down the middle maybe. This little knife works so good. It was a piece of old saw blade like you'd saw wood with. I wanted a knife, and we didn't have any big stores around. There was no Walmart or nothing like that. We had JCPenney's. I don't think they had knives. We had Montgomery Ward's and Sears. In our little town, we had nothing. So you could order stuff online through Herders, which was an outdoor product company. I think they may be still in business selling stuff. And I told my dad, I said, I'm going to make a couple of knives. He said, all right. So, you know, he said, be sure and wear eye protection. They was even years ago, and wear gloves so you don't cut your finger off. So I had some old wood. I cut it. This is just some old pine. I got it, you know, drawn out. And the handle, my dad was restoring an old wooden boat. It was a Yellow Jacket boat made out of Denison, Texas. It was about 15 foot and had a 50 horse Mercury on it. Well, we thought we were the kings of the lake in that thing. So anyway, he was varnishing that, and I just took and dipped both of my knives into that varnish and held them up. I think I put a magnet on them and tied the magnet to a string and let them drip. And boys and girls, it still works great today. Why change? I mean, I've got new knives and stuff like that, but anyway, let's cut off a little. I would hate to give this to someone and, you know, not do a taste test. I don't want anybody to get sick or get poisoned or anything. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Well, it looks hot. Let's see here. All right. I could see this with whipped cream over the top of it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's still smoking. My gut says don't take that big a bite, that it still might be too hot. So I'm going to cut that in two. I don't want y'all to see the old dude falling out here. All right. That's pretty dadburn good. Man. I think you could probably put nuts, pecans and stuff into this cake and do the same. I'm not a big fan of peanuts or anything in a cake. You don't put, I'm not even real fond of doing them on the outside. I will if a customer asks for it, but man, I may have to put my percolator back on just to have a bite of this again with my coffee. You know, I'm taste testing to make sure that it's good for everybody. You know, I'd hate to give them something that tastes bad. Well, there you are. Wish me luck to get through to tomorrow, to my anniversary of my heart event. And I'm going to post a video with some pictures. Some are kind of hard to watch, hard to look at actually. A picture of my legs look like two burnt sausages that have been in the barbecue pit. They look pretty good now. You know, I ain't going to win no beauty contest with them, but they look pretty good. I don't mind wearing shorts out when I go to the grocery store. So anyway, thanks for being part of the Old Dudes world. Please share my videos and like and comment. If you like my content, don't comment on my filming ability, because I know I got a long ways to go, and I don't have a lot of good lighting, but I hope you like my content and like my stories. I mean, these are all real true deals. They don't make up stuff here. So thank you for being here. The Old Dude is out of here for a cup of coffee and maybe some whipped cream on this piece of pumpkin cake. Out of here. Bye. Yes, boys and girls, it's good, and it's good enough for a side of cream.